Hi guys, Billy back, and this time we're going to be looking at the Iconiq Studios American Psycho 1/6 scale figure. I've been really looking forward to this. It's been a long time coming. Now there was a delay to this figure. It was one of the first ones they teased out of the company, but unfortunately it had a bit of a delay because one of the head sculpts had some problems and they had to go back and, refix them all. But finally the figure is here and I'm really looking forward to having a look at it. The packaging looks absolutely fantastic already. As you can see, it's already got a clear slip sleeve over the front. It's got lots of blood splatter all over it, and on the side it's got American Psycho 1/6 scale collectible. It's got the Pressman Films logo, meaning this is an officially licensed figure. You've got Kai Studio, 11 and Iconiq all working together to bring us this fantastic figure. You've got some blurb about the character on the back. You've got all your usual warnings, and it's also got a little bit of a breakdown about Iconiq Studios, and it's got loads of QR codes and a barcode and all the lovely fun stuff you really enjoy looking at. Oh God, look at those barcodes, aren't they great? And then on this side again, American Psycho and everything. And if we take the slip sleeve off, we get a lovely little artwork on the front there from the character himself, Bateman, with a bloody knife. Very nice quality print as well. But other than that, guys, let's undo this and have a look at what we get inside the box. If we take the top of the box off, you can see the inside is actually a diorama of his kitchen. What a nice little touch. Didn't even have to do that. If it was just plain white on the inside, no one would have batted an eyelid. But they've utilized every tiny little bit of this box to give you as much as possible, and I absolutely love that. And then on the inside we get this slip cover, and it's got like the reservations list from the dossier, which is a nice nod from the movie. Like I said, they're utilizing every tiny little bit of this to give you that feeling from the movie itself. And you can see here's a breakdown of everybody who was involved, from the sculpts to the 3D artists to the paint to the design and direction, production, packaging design and production assistant. But that's about it. Okay, let's slide this off and see what we get inside the box. Okay, as we take the first bit of foam padding off, you can see you get this piece of paper with explanations about how to work everything, and make sure you read that before you play around with it. My one, although, has got some damage on it. It looks like somebody's torn it all, which is a bit weird, but it's not a big deal. It's just a basic breakdown of everything you need, and I probably won't use this. Probably should, but I'm one of those guys that doesn't read the instructions. So yeah, it's nice for some people, but an idiot like me is just always going to break something because I don't read these things. And then inside you can see we've got a breakdown of the figure itself, the extra head sculpt, the axe, the Walkman, the phone, the cards, just all these little accessories with the knife and everything. And then if we take off that foam padding, be carefully, I don't want to drop anything out of here. We get a second layer of accessories, from the stand to the coat to the blood splatter effects to that really cool looking card there, a suitcase and a nail gun. Okay, let's break this all out and have a look at exactly what we get. But before we do that, let's have a look at this. It's another diorama on the bottom part of the box, and yeah, once you take all the foam out, this is what you get. You can see he's got his music hi-fi there. Do you remember those? You can see you've got a picture on the side there of Patrick Bateman himself. Looks like a little piece of art that maybe he would have, because yeah, his ego is that out of check. But yeah, it's just really cool, and it will work so great with more photos and stuff. I think people are going to have a blast with this figure. Okay, and here he is just straight out of the box. I've just put him on the stand and I've put all his accessories out to have a really good look at what we get. And out of the box, he comes with a lot. But before we get into the figure itself, let's have a look at the accessories he comes with. He comes with this raincoat, and he comes with this long suit jacket. And I have to say, I really like what they've done here. It's all magnetic clasps, so when you open it up, it looks great. And it's got this really sort of plasticky, silicone-y feel to it. It feels like a real raincoat, I'm not joking. And all the little details with the pockets and stuff. Yeah, you can see they put some work into this. You've even got the little hoops on the back here like it had in the actual film itself. And the same with this coat here. It's going to be fun trying to get this on, I reckon. It looks like it's going to be a bit hard to get on. We'll see once we get there. But wow, look at this detail. He's got wires in the bottom of the coat. It's got these lovely little pockets. The same with the actual buttons up here. There is a bit of a crease in mine here. I'll try and straighten that out a little bit in a little while, but other than that, yeah, really like that. He comes with a slew of gripping hands, holding hands, pointing hands and everything, but we could see all the little details that they've put into this hand. Again, these are all sculpted specifically for this figure. No reuse of any of the old hands or anything from stock bodies. So you can see all the little details in there, and there's little sort of like redness in the knuckles there. Yeah, I absolutely love this, and all the speckling. They work fantastically. Is fantastically a word? Anyway, and he also comes with 2 gloved hands for his psycho mode, as you would call it. And yeah, again, they look really great. All the little creases just in the bottom of the cuff there, yeah. He also comes with this nail gun. It is made of plastic, but that's no big deal. At least he can hold it and it won't drag his arm down. And yeah, it's got some weathering in there. It's got some dirt inside the grills here. Yeah, I can't complain about this. It looks really, really good. It's very, very, very similar to the one that he had in the movie. He's also got an 80s yuppie telephone, because of course he has. Very nicely sculpted, very nicely made. Really does look like something that came out in the 80s. He also comes with this briefcase that actually opens up. It's even got little tiny hinges, which I really like that sort of detail. Would be nice maybe to have had some lining in there, but I obviously understand why you couldn't do that. He also comes with a little business card, and I have to say I really, really like the embossing, the detail, the off-color white. Oh my god, it's amazing. He also comes with a stabby. Looks really good. Again, it just looks like a normal kitchen knife. It's very similar to the one he poses with in the movie. Yeah, it's plastic. It's a little bit silvery, but it's still got enough shine in there to suggest that it is a real knife. Yeah, and it's nicely made. I will say that it is a bit thick on the ends here, but that's not a big deal. What were the 80s without a Walkman, huh? And this is a fantastic Walkman. It's got the earphones, they're hooked up into the Walkman itself, and all the little buttons are painted in and everything, which is a really nice detail. Look at that, even by the earphone port, I don't know if you can see, but they've actually added in the little green bit around the port for the headphone jack. The more I look at it, the more I'm liking it. It comes with this blood splatter effect for the axe, which I'll show you in a second. Now, I know some people will love this and some people maybe won't. And the reason for that is, once you slide this in, come here you, just get it in. I don't want to break anything just this early in the review, so I'm going to be very careful. But once you slide this in, you can see the blood splatter effect. Very nice gradient paint. It's sort of clear here with a bit more blood there and a bit more blood shooting out the back. So it's very nicely textured and everything. But I will say, for me, it's a little bit cartoony. Some people, like I said this when I first had a look at the figure, this might not be something I pose it with. I may in the end, it may warm to me, but at the moment it looks a little bit cartoony for me. I don't know, I don't think they would have been able to do it any other way, to be brutally honest. And at least you get a blood splatter sort of effect, or no blood effect, depending on where you're posing this or showing it off. If you're putting this in your living room and there's going to be kids coming around, you might not want him to be absolutely plastered in blood. It is a nice touch and it fits so snugly onto this axe. But if we pull this off, you can see the axe is actually plastic, but it is really well made. I mean, that handle looks like real wood. It really does. And yeah, the texture in it is very good as well. The axe itself up the top here looks okay. Nice and shiny, very nicely reflective. But it is plastic, but I'm fine with that because, again, people always go nuts for die cast, but honestly sometimes it's just too damn heavy for figures to hold and it will wear out the joints easier. So there is a slight blemish on the bottom of mine here. Let me try and zoom in. There is a mild blemish there, but it's not a big deal. Could actually work even better for the figure because people will go, oh my god, that's a tiny little detail. But that's it. Very nice axe. He also comes with this Huey Lewis and the News CD, but obviously they probably couldn't, you know, do the the licensing for this. Pretty sure Huey would sue him. I mean, didn't he sue, what's his name, for the Ghostbusters theme tune? So yeah, he's a litigious man, shall we say. So instead of actually being Huey Lewis and the News, you can see there is a tiny little detail in the top right hand corner. It says Iconiq, and then up the top left hand corner it says mergers and acquisitions, and then there's some writing and garb on the back here. I can't tell what writing or garb is on there. And then if we open it up, my fat fingers, you can see he's actually got a CD inside as well. And the figure also comes with a 1:1 scale business card for Patrick Bateman on it, which is a really nice touch because you can have this posed in your detolf with him on a little stand or a little placard or something like that. And then of course we have the bloody head sculpt. This was one of the biggest problems for Iconiq, if I recall them saying, was trying to get this mouth fitted in properly, because when they got all the parts it didn't all fit in exactly right. So as you can see on the inside here, there is where the mouthpiece is, all the little bits go inside. It looks like they've had to, you know, sand things down a little bit more than they were expecting, or rejig everything so it fits in nicely. So it's a little bit ugly on the seams there, but I honestly don't give a crap, do you? You're not going to see that. But yeah, it's really, really good, and they are on magnetic posts for the neck, so they're a bit easier to swap in and out than, you know, ripping off a neck from a paw and, you know, potentially snapping the actual paw itself. So that's a really, really nice touch. We're going to get a look at that. Okay, that's kind of it for the accessories. There is a stand actually. Let's have a look at that first. Let's see if I can stand this guy up without him falling over without the stand, because I didn't get him perfectly balanced. But this is again one of those nice little accessories, because the stand has loads of newspaper print on it and it says American Psycho there, so you see everything. It's even got the Iconiq logo in the top left hand corner here, just to show that off. But there are quotes and bits from the film all littered throughout this newspaper print. So this is going to be a fan's like wet dream. This, it's going to be like, oh my god, yeah, that quote, yeah, very cool, very cool. Okay, coming in and having a look at the normal head sculpt, we'll call it. If you could say anything about Patrick Bateman is normal. I really, really like how they've gotten like the slightly reddishness around the eyelids. I think maybe the lips are a bit too dark, but you've got to remember as well, this was such a vain guy. He probably did walk around with a bit of makeup on. They've even got a little bit of a redness around the ears there. He also has some grey beard there. I don't know if it's very obvious. Maybe the light's blowing it out a little bit, but it is nice and subtle. He even has these little tiny like blemish up on his right eye, just in between the eye and the nose there. Try and zoom in on it. Just get in there. Go on. Do you see it there? Yeah. So that is a really, really nice touch. It's a good head sculpt, and it's a nice... He was very young when he did this film, so he looks a lot younger. Some people will just be like, oh, he doesn't look like he did in The Dark Knight or whatever, but he's not supposed to. Yeah, I absolutely love the detail in the hair. Let's have a look. Can we see a seam? That's the challenge. The seam... Oh, mostly no, but then here you get a little bit of the seam just here. You see that? Ah, gotcha. No, it's fine. My only criticism, maybe, I don't know, it might be a fraction bit too small. I don't know. Maybe it's just the thickness of the suit jacket might make the head sculpt look a bit smaller. Quite possibly. This is not me 100% in it. You know, this is just my initial thoughts once I get it out of the box and looking at it. But it is growing on me. Like, I was initially like, I think that's too small. But then I moved it around a bit, and then I started posing him, and then I was like, well, oh no, actually, it's not too bad at all. And then I started moving things around and started futzing the jacket a bit more. And yeah, it did start to actually make more sense to me once I actually got things less ruffled on his body. But the tie sticks up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and get that shirt collar up and everything, because it's a little bit squashed in there just underneath the jacket here. It's the pinstripe jacket. We're talking that like really sort of bright red tie that he had, but he's also got that slightly bluish shirt with the really stark white collar. Yeah, I'm really, really liking this suit. But 11K have been really good with this sort of stuff in the past. I really like the way they've got all the creases in the pants. The details in the shoes are pretty nice, although there's not much detail other than the fact that they're just black sort of satiny shoes, but they look reasonably leathery. I mean, it's very hard to do, and sometimes they make these shoelaces too thick, but they've actually been able to do them quite nicely and detailed. And he's got black socks on. Yeah. Again, that sort of nice little detail that you know about, but maybe other people don't. But again, you know, because it's there and you know it's there, it just makes you smile. Okay, let's get some more accessories on him and have a butcher's of what we got. And before we go any further, I'd like to show you, he's got this really cool looking Rolex watch on his left arm, and it's just absolutely fantastic. The details, it's got like a little clear lens on the front there. Yeah, I was surprised that that was just sitting on his wrist there. They normally would have had this out on the side, but they actually fitted it on there, and I'm fine with that. And what they've actually done, the reason they've done that is because there is a gap between his hand and his wrist, so that it sits on his arm a bit more natural than you would find on like a normal figure, because normally the wrist will just go straight down there and then you'd cover it up, but they've actually done it so that it fits nicely on there, but it's also not too big or bulky or sticking out too much. You see, this is the thing when you're fussing about with a figure, you keep noticing new details every single time, and this figure is surprising me in very different ways, because I had to undo the jacket because I wanted to futz with the shirt jacket and everything to fit it in better, and you know, once the coat is on, which I was surprised actually fit pretty well, you can see he's got braces on, movie accurate braces on as well. Like, I didn't even know about that. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, just another tiny little detail. When you get a really good figure and they've got all these tiny nuanced bits in it that you've never even really thought of or noticed, but they did, you know? Okay, overall, what do I think of this figure? Well, I was really surprised that the jacket went on as easy as it did. I really thought it was going to be a bit too hard. Anybody who knows about suits on 1/6 scale figures, when you're trying to put a coat on over that suit, the sleeves can ride up, it can be really hard to get the coat on. You're just wrestling with different bits of cloth getting scrumpled up and getting caught up in the jacket sleeves and things like that. That didn't happen this time. It was actually fairly easy, and I had a great time trying to pose this guy up. The paint applications on their heads are fantastic. They really are. The details in the faces are just bang on, including that little blemish in his right eye. Things like that, just such a nice touch. You really will be proud to put this on your shelf, to be honest. I absolutely love all the tiny little details. It blew me away when I opened up the suit jacket and found the braces in there. I was so impressed. All these little accessories, the mobile phone, the nail gun, the knife, the briefcase, the Huey Lewis and the New Style CD cover, the axe, the rain jacket, all the extra hands. You're going to have a blast with this figure overall. All the tiny little details in the stand with the Iconiq logo and all the little quotes and things like that. It's a really nice homage to the overall film. You can really tell that they were fans of the character, if you can call anyone a fan of Patrick Bateman, that is. But overall, there isn't much more I would want with this figure. It feels like they kind of thought of everything. I mean, if they were going to deep dive any further, they would have had to have given you the massacred corpse of Jared Leto. And I don't think we need to see that, although that might be quite fun considering his Joker turn. But anyway, overall, guys, I love the figure. I really do. It's a fantastic release. It's got so many great details and it's got loads and loads of accessories. Iconiq should be proud of themselves for this one, to be honest. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do next. I know they've shown Elvis, and I know they're doing Muhammad Ali, and they're doing Street Fighter figures, but I would like to see some other movie icons throughout the years, and I'd like to see what else they can get licenses for other than American Psycho. But that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you do me a favor now, if you can get out of my cave, I'm going to put this guy on the shelf next to all my other Psychos. I've got quite a few Psychos, actually. I've got the Scream guy, Jack Torrance, Hannibal Lecter. I never even thought of it. What is my problem with psychopaths? But that's it for now, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.